night, evening, morning, afternoon, whenever you see this video. I want to give you all a word. This scripture is a scripture that God gave me 2 days ago. Now, I posted this word, this scripture, on my podcast as well, but the podcast is it's kind of long, so I just wanted to get this scripture out to you all. And I think it is a scripture that everyone needs to use in their life. Well, every scripture that God gives us is a scripture that we all need to use in our lives. This scripture is in Proverbs 23, verses 1 through 3. And it says, "When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee, and put a to your robe. If thou be a man given to appetite, be not desirous of his dainties, for they are deceitful meat." Okay, so I looked up the word ruler, and it says a person exercising government or dominion. A ruler is a person exercising government or dominion. Now, I want y'all to listen to this. Okay, so I looked up the word dainty. Dainty is something, it means something good to eat, a delicacy. That's what dainty is. So then I looked up the word deceptive. No, I'm going to say deceitful first. And it says guilty of or involving deceit or misleading others. The similar words to this means dishonest, untruthful, lying. Okay, so this is what I want you all to know. When you sit down with anybody, this is what God is telling us. When we sit down with anybody to eat, He's saying, don't be desirous of the food that you are eating, because, you need to pay attention. Remember, he said in the beginning, when thou sittest down, when thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently. So I looked up the word diligently, and I looked up consider as well. So let me find diligently. Diligent means in a way that shows care and conscientiousness in one's work or duties. Conscientiousness, the quality of wishing to do one's work or duty well and thoroughly. Okay, so some of the words to this meaning of diligently means to observe, mark, give heed to, distinguish, consider, to have discernment, insight, understanding, to be discerning, intelligent, discreet, have understanding, to understand, teach, to show oneself discerning or attentive, consider diligently, instruct, prudent. Okay, you all. So what I am saying to you all, now, when I read it to you all in the Message version, just in case you don't understand it, in the King James Version, listen to it in the Message version. It says, when you go out to dinner with an influential person, mind your manners. Don't gobble your food. Don't talk with your mouth full. Do not crave his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. You all, it's a whole longer version up on my podcast episode. But what I want you all to know is that just because a person is a ruler, just because a person is an influential person, that does not mean that they cannot be deceptive. As you can see in this scripture, when you read it, Proverbs 23 verses 1 through 3, what is God saying to us? He is saying that the meat is deceitful. Okay? So, when I looked up the word delicacies, it means fineness or intricacy of texture or color. Intricate means very complicated or detailed. Okay, so the food that they are giving you is going to look delicious. It's going to look good to eat. But what God is saying, be diligent. You got to be diligent when you sitting down with a ruler, when you sitting down with an influential person. Be diligent. Be considerate. Okay, I told you all what the words mean. When you are being diligent, when you are considering, let me find considering. When you are when you are considering something, you must pay attention, you all. You must have discernment. Consider diligently is what God is saying. What is before thee? That means don't just be a gluttony. Don't just go ahead and eat. Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to what you are doing and who you are eating with when you are sitting down. God is saying that the food is deceitful. It is deceitful. I want to tell you all, just because this person may be a ruler or an influential person, that does not mean they cannot be deceitful. That does not mean that. Look what deceitful means. It means guilty of or involving deceit or misleading others. Dishonest. This person is dishonest. This person is untruthful. This person is lying. He or she is a liar. Oh my goodness. So then I looked up what influential person means. And it means someone whose actions, opinions, or ideas have significant effect on the thoughts, behaviors, or actions of others and can shape the course of events. They often have power, authority, or a high degree of respect in their field, whether it's politics, business, art, or science. Y'all have to be very, very, very careful of who you are sitting down to eat with. God is telling us in this scripture, you must be careful. It says, has power to affect others. That's true. This person can change how others think or act through their own example or through their influence in a community or industry. That's true. Because the influential person that you are listening to, you really are looking up to that person. You looking up to that person. It says shapes the course of events. Their decisions and actions strongly impact the direction of events. Often respected and admired. This respect can come from their knowledge, skills, or accomplishments. When you are around an influential person, whatever you are doing with them, if you're in their programs, if you're looking at their videos, it does not matter. Why are you around this person? You are around this person because of the knowledge they have, because of the skills they have, because of their accomplishments. That means you have seen what they have done in their life. But literally, God gave me the scripture literally 2 days ago. Today is Sunday. God gave me this scripture Friday, you all. Friday, he gave me this scripture. And I did a longer version up on my podcast. It's like an hour long. But I'm telling you all right now, when you are around people, you have to watch them. You cannot think because a person is acting nice or they act a certain type of way online that this person is cool. This person is okay. They ain't got nothing going on in their life. And they talk about God. You know, a lot of people uses God's name. They talk about God. Just because a person talk about God does not mean they are all the way into God like that. I want you all to know that. Because I'm going to tell you this. If God gave us this scripture, Proverbs 23 verses 1 through 3, and he's telling us to be, he's telling us that their meat is deceitful. And he's telling us to be considerate and diligently when we sit with this person. What does that mean? That means something ain't right. That person ain't who they say they are. Okay? Deceitful, I'm telling you all what deceitful means. And deceptive, it means a person that is misleading others. They're misleading others. They're not truly who they say they are. Okay? I just pray you all go back and read this scripture. Seriously, you all need to go back and read this scripture and meditate on it, what God is telling us, you know, because I'm going to tell y'all this, no matter what. A person who is being deceptive, even if they say they are of God, they are not of God. Not like they saying they are. How? Because they're being deceptive. Deceptiveness is evil. God is not of evil. This is how a person should act. This is how we should act. Galatians 5 verses 22 through 23. But the fruits of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, long-suffering, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Long-suffering is patience. Self-control is temperance. Because, you know, for different versions of the Bible got different, you know, meanings of the words. But I'm telling you all, if a person is not walking in the fruits of the Spirit every day, you need to watch that person. Seriously. Because people portray who they are online. They fake who they are. But in reality, they are something else. There's no way God would have put a scripture in this Bible like this if it was not true. God does not lie. His words are true. God gave me this scripture 2 days ago, and I was like, okay, God, I hear you. I understand what you're saying. I'm discerning what you're saying. So you all need to discern what God is saying to you. You need to pray for discernment, discerning of the spirits. If you do not have it, you need to pray for it, because it's people out here on these platforms. It's people out here doing things, and they are not being truthful. They are not being who they portray to be in front of us. Behind closed doors, it is something different. I'm going to read this scripture to you all again. When you go out to dinner with an influential person, mind your manners. Don't gobble your food. Don't talk with your mouth full. Do not crave his delicacies, for that food is deceptive. The food is deceptive. And so when I looked this up, I think it was titled something like a person that's being wise or something like that. I think it was titled by a person that's being wise. But then in another version, it was titled as a man thinks in his heart. So that's what I'm going to title this. Because how a man thinks in their heart, that's how a person truly is. If you're thinking evil in your heart, if you're being deceptive to people, that's evilness. That's evilness. If you are loving, if you are kind, that's your heart. That's how you are. Okay? So always remember that how a person portray themselves, how they act, that's who they are. Whether it be good or bad, how they act, that's who they are. If you see something deceptive about them, If they deceiving you in any type of way, that's who they are. If they're loving, kind, patient, that's who they are. That's who they truly are. That's what's in their heart. But if they're doing something evil, there's no way. We know that is not from God at all. Okay? So I want you all to know that and understand that. And that's all I have for tonight. Go back and meditate on Proverbs 23, verses 1 through 3. And I will talk to you all in the next video. I'm trying to see, is there something else that I wanted to say? No, that's it. Okay, why are you on here cursing? You know what? Some people get on here and say the most craziest things. But okay, y'all. I will talk to you all in the next video. Blessings.